What if everything you've been told about resolving conflict is designed to keep you losing? What if the calm, rational discussions and the heartfelt I feel statements are just playing the game on a board she designed? There is another layer to this, a layer of unspoken rules, psychological patterns, and quiet power plays that most men never see until they're already deep in the trenches. This isn't about being cruel. This is about understanding the hidden grammar of tension so you can rewrite the script. If you're tired of being the only one who ever seems to be working on the relationship, pay very close attention. The rules I'm about to share are not for beginners. Move 1. Controlling the climate with silence. Yet trying to win the argument with logic. The first move is to control the emotional climate of the room, and you do that not with words, but with a profound, intentional silence. When she escalates, her voice rises, the accusations fly. Your instinct is to match the energy to be heard. That is the trap. Instead, become profoundly calm. Slow your breathing, make your body language still and open. Let her words hang in the air without a reply. This does 2 things. First, it deprives her outburst of the reaction it needs to sustain itself. Emotion feeds on emotion. Your silence starves the fire. Second, it creates a stark contrast. Her chaos is framed against your stillness, making her unconsciously aware of her own state. It makes her feel for a moment slightly foolish. You haven't said a word, but you've taken control of the room's atmosphere. The power has subtly shifted to the person who is not rattled. Move 2. The strategic reframe. Making her doubt her narrative. Never defend yourself against an accusation point by point. That accepts her frame of reality. Your move is to gently but firmly dismantle the frame itself. When she says you're so irresponsible with money, don't list your responsible acts. Instead, reframe it as a question of perception and shared goals. Look at her with calm concern and say, "It worries me that you see me that way. My intention is always build security for us. Can you help me understand what specific event made you feel our security is threatened?" You have done 3 things. 1. You've labeled her accusation as merely a perception, not a fact. 2. You've repositioned yourself as the protector. Build security. 3. You've forced her to move from vague emotion to a specific factual instance, which she often cannot cleanly provide. This subtly seeds doubt in her own narrative and puts you in the role of the logical problem solver. Move 3. Emotional detachment as a strategic asset. Your greatest vulnerability is your need for her approval and harmony. The moment she senses you are afraid of her being upset, she holds infinite power. The counter move is to cultivate a genuine internal detachment. This isn't about not caring for her. It's about caring more for your own mission, peace, and principles than you do for her momentary mood. Practice this. Mentally rehearse the worst-case scenario. She's furious. She gives you the silent treatment. She threatens to leave. Play it out in your mind and see yourself remaining calm, carrying on with your work, and sleeping soundly. When this mental fortitude is real, it broadcasts on a frequency she can sense. She can no longer use withdrawal of affection or approval as a lever to manipulate your behavior. You become predictably calm and unpredictably unmoved by drama. This is unnerving to someone used to wielding emotional influence, and it forces a change in their tactics. Move 4. The pressure release valve directing the overflow. A woman's frustration is often diffuse, a general pressure looking for a target. Your job is to become the pressure release valve, not the target. You do this by channeling that diffuse energy toward a concrete external problem and then visibly taking action on it. When she is overwhelmed and snippy about everything being a mess, don't ask, "What's wrong?" That invites a laundry list of your failures. Instead, immediately identify one tangible, visible element of the mess. Say, "You're right. This kitchen counter is chaotic. It's stressing me out too. Let me handle this right now." Then immediately and silently clean the entire kitchen thoroughly. You have accomplished the following. You've validated her feeling without accepting blame. You've translated vague emotion into a solvable task. You've demonstrated decisive action, and you've given her frustration a concrete win, which often satisfies the underlying need for control and order, diffusing the wider attack. Move 5. Preemptive storytelling. Diffusing the criticism before it lands. This is an advanced psychological tactic. You know her common criticisms. You're distant, you're forgetful, you prioritize work. Instead of waiting for the attack, you preempt it by voicing it yourself first, but through the lens of your own high standards. For example, before she can comment on you working late, you say, with sincerity, "You know, driving home tonight, I was thinking how I need to be better about leaving work at work. My family deserves my full presence, and sometimes my drive to provide can blind me to that. I'm working on that balance." What have you done? You have stolen her ammunition. She cannot now criticize you for working late without sounding repetitive and unappreciative of your drive to provide. You have framed the flaw as an overextension of a virtue, dedication, and you have positioned yourself as the self-aware critic. This takes immense wind out of the sails of incoming blame and forces her into a position of having to be supportive. If this video is giving you even a little more insight into the deeper dynamics at play, hit subscribe and be family with the Stoic-powered Men's Brigade. We delve into the realities most channels are afraid to touch. Your subscription supports this necessary work and helps build a library of strategic knowledge for the modern man. Join the inner circle. Move 6. The controlled withdrawal of attention, reinforcing value. Attention is the currency of relationship. When behavior becomes disrespectful, punitive, or manipulative, the most effective correction is not a lecture, but a calm, temporary, and total withdrawal of your attention and positive engagement. This is not the petulant, silent treatment. It is a conscious, unemotional disengagement. You remain polite and functional. Dinner is ready. I'll be back at 8. But you withdraw all warmth, humor, deep conversation, and affection. You become pleasantly neutral and busy with your own purpose. This creates a palpable void. She is used to having access to your emotional energy. When it is calmly and consistently withdrawn in response to poor treatment, it creates a subconscious anxiety and recalibration. The return of your full attention and warmth then becomes a powerful positive reinforcement for a return to respectful interaction. It teaches the direct behavioral consequence. Respect earns connection. Disrespect earns polite distance. Move 7. Utilizing social proof in framing. You are never more vulnerable than when you are isolated as the problem in her narrative. Your counter is to subtly integrate social proof and third-party framing. This does not mean complaining about her to friends. It means strategically letting her witness how other people respect you. Have her see you commanding respect in your work calls. Share, briefly, a story where a friend or colleague valued your judgment. In a disagreement, you might say, "My mentor/boss/successful friend I respect always says that the mark of a strong partnership is solving problems as a unified front, not keeping score." By invoking a respected neutral third party, you elevate the principle above the personal clash. It's no longer you versus her, it's her versus a universally respected ideal that you are aligned with. It frames you as being on the side of wisdom and makes opposition to you seem like opposition to objective success. Move 8. Mastering the art of the orchestrated choice. The ultimate form of control is to make her believe she is choosing while you are designing the options. This is the orchestrated choice. When conflict is brewing over a decision, do not dig in on your position. Instead, offer 2 or 3 alternative paths forward that you have pre-designed, all of which are acceptable to you, but which lead her to believe she has autonomy. For example, if the argument is about how to spend a weekend, don't argue for your BBQ with friends. Say, "You're right, we need quality time. I see 3 ways we could do this. That would be great. We could have that quiet, romantic weekend at the cabin you mentioned. Just us. We could do the BBQ, but keep it short and plan a special date night after. Or we could skip both and use the time to finally tackle that project in the house you've wanted done and order in great food. I'm happy with any of them. What feels right to you? You have avoided a head-on fight. You appear deeply accommodating, and you have guided the outcome into a range you can live with. She feels heard and in control, while you have steered the ship away from the rocks. This is the art of navigating the unspoken currents. It is not for malice, but for sovereignty. To protect your peace, you must first understand the subtle mechanics that threaten it. Master these not to conquer another, to ensure you are never again conquered by chaos. The power lies not in the loud reaction, but in the quiet, predetermined move. If these insights into the deeper architecture of relationship dynamics have value for you, hit subscribe and be family with the Stoic Powered Men's Brigade.